Good evening, everyone. I want to talk to you today about something simple, yet so powerful, something that we can carry with us no matter where life takes us. It's the smile of God. You know, in life, we often search for signs of approval, signs of love, signs that we're doing okay. But what if I told you that the smile you need, the approval you long for, is already there? It's there in the very air you breathe, in the moments of quiet peace, and in the warmth of every good thing that you experience. It's the smile of God shining down on you, letting you know that He is pleased with who you are, that He loves you just as you are. God's smile is not earned. It's not about checking off all the boxes or living a perfect life. No, God's smile is a gift, a symbol of His grace, His favor, and His constant presence. His smile is not conditional. It's there whether you're on the mountaintop or in the valley. His love for you doesn't waver, and His smile is a reflection of that eternal truth. Sometimes life feels heavy. We face obstacles, setbacks, moments of doubt and fear. It's easy to feel like we're all alone, like we've fallen short, or like we're not enough. But here's the good news. God is with you in every moment, and He's smiling over you. Even in your darkest hour, His smile is there, lighting the way. When you face uncertainty, when the road ahead feels unclear, His smile says, I'm here, and you are never alone. And when we recognize the smile of God, something beautiful happens. We begin to realize that it's not about our perfection, it's about His love. It's about grace, the kind of grace that lifts us up when we're down, the kind of grace that covers our mistakes, and the kind of grace that encourages us to keep moving forward. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to work harder for it. God's smile is already there, waiting for you to accept it. This smile doesn't just stay with us, it radiates through us. When you understand that God is smiling over your life, it changes the way you see yourself and the world around you. You become a reflection of His love. You begin to share that smile with others. Through kindness, encouragement, and support, you bring light into the lives of those around you, just as God brings light into yours. A smile is such a simple thing, yet it carries immense power. It's the simplest gesture, but it's also one of the most transformative. A smile can change a day. A smile can lift someone up. A smile can be a reminder of God's love when someone needs it the most. So today, I want you to know this. God is smiling over you. Right now, in this moment, He is proud of you. He delights in you. His favor surrounds you like a shield, and His grace is more than enough. You may face challenges ahead, but remember, you have God's smile to guide you, to remind you that you are loved, that you are enough, and that He is with you always. Embrace that smile. Let it be your strength, your encouragement, your reminder that no matter what, God's love is greater than any obstacle you may face. God bless you all. God's smile represents His unconditional love and approval. And understanding this can completely transform the way we view ourselves and our relationship with Him. Imagine for a moment that you are looking into the eyes of the Creator of the universe, and what you see is not disappointment or judgment, but a smile that speaks of His deep affection for you. It's a smile that radiates warmth, peace, and a profound sense of approval. This smile is not based on your achievements or your failures. It is not a smile that is contingent upon your performance or behavior. It is a smile that comes from His heart simply because you are His creation. The love that God has for each one of us is not something we can fully comprehend with our limited understanding. It is vast, unchanging, and perfect. It transcends all our mistakes, our doubts, and our fears. The smile of God is a reminder of that love, a love that is always with us, no matter what we go through in life. Think about the unconditional love a parent has for their child. Even when the child makes mistakes or takes a wrong turn, the love doesn't disappear. It remains constant. In much the same way, God's love for us is unshakable. No matter how many times we fall, His smile remains. No matter how many times we doubt ourselves, His love continues to surround us. This divine smile is not just a vague feeling of affection. It is the very essence of God's approval of us as His beloved children. In a world where we often seek approval from others, whether from our parents, friends, or society, the approval of God should be enough to make us feel complete. His smile is an endorsement of who we are, not based on our accomplishments, but simply because we are His creation. We don't have to strive to earn it, and we don't have to work harder to receive it. It is freely given, poured out abundantly, and available to us at all times. In fact, God's smile is often felt during the quiet, tender moments when we are simply being ourselves. When we rest in His presence, when we stop striving for perfection, His smile is there. It is in those quiet moments of prayer, of reflection, or even of simply taking a breath that we can feel the warmth of His approval. His smile doesn't judge us for our shortcomings. It is a smile that sees past our mistakes and embraces us for who we are, His beloved children. This smile is also a reminder that we do not need to earn God's love or favor. So often in life we fall into the trap of thinking we need to be perfect or do something extraordinary in order to be deserving of love. But God's smile says otherwise. It tells us that we are already enough. It tells us that no matter how hard we try or how much we accomplish, God's love for us is not based on our ability to achieve or perform. His love is not conditional. It is constant, steady, and ever-present. His smile is a sign of that love, a love that is freely given, no strings attached. The beauty of God's smile is that it lifts us up when we feel down. In moments of failure or disappointment, when we feel that we've let God down or that we're not measuring up to some standard, His smile reassures us. It tells us that we are loved regardless of what we've done or haven't done. It reminds us that we are more than our mistakes, that we are cherished no matter how far we think we've fallen. When we know that God is smiling over us, it helps us let go of guilt, shame, and self-doubt. His smile is a reflection of grace, a grace that covers us, lifts us, and makes us whole again. Furthermore, God's smile is a reflection of His purpose and plan for our lives. When we receive His approval, we are reminded that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. We are not here by accident. God has a plan for each of us, and His smile signifies His delight in watching us live out that plan. It is a reminder that we are part of His grand design, a design that is filled with love, purpose, and beauty. Every step we take is met with God's approval because, as His children, we are walking in the path He has set before us. There is power in knowing that God is smiling over us. His approval gives us the courage to step forward, to face the challenges ahead, and to walk in the confidence that we are never alone. His smile is not just a fleeting moment, but a constant reassurance that He is with us, loving us, and cheering us on. So when life gets tough, when doubts creep in, when we feel like we're not enough, we can remember that God's smile is always there, and it will never fade. It is the smile of unconditional love, approval, and grace. And that, my friends, is the smile that we can always count on. The smile of God is not just a comforting thought or a fleeting emotional experience. It's a constant, steady presence in our lives, a reminder of God's unfailing and unconditional love. It's a signal that He is with us, guiding us through life's challenges. When we experience God's smile, it's an affirmation that we are not alone in the journey. His presence is always near, even when we can't see or feel Him. It's in the moments of quiet, in the stillness, that His smile becomes most apparent, letting us know that He's there, holding us, and walking beside us through whatever comes our way. In a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable, where we can easily feel disconnected or lost, the smile of God serves as a gentle reminder that we are never abandoned. We are never forgotten. His smile reflects the fact that He is intimately involved in our lives, not just in the big moments, but in the everyday, ordinary details. Whether we're facing challenges at work, dealing with personal struggles, or simply going through the motions of life, God's smile is a constant. It's the quiet whisper in our hearts that says, I am here with you, you are not alone. But it's not just about the reassurance that God is present. The smile of God is a reflection of His active involvement in our lives. He doesn't stand idly by, detached from our struggles and joys. Instead, He walks with us, carrying our burdens when they become too heavy, and celebrating with us in the moments of triumph. His smile is a visible sign of His care. It's a reminder that every step we take, He is there, guiding us toward the good things He has in store. We may not always understand His plan or timing, but His smile reminds us that His presence is always intentional, always leading us towards something better. Think about a time in your life when you felt overwhelmed or uncertain. Maybe it was a difficult decision, time of loss, or a moment of doubt. In those moments, the smile of God is a steady presence, offering peace that transcends understanding. It's like a warm embrace, a feeling of comfort that comes not from the absence of struggle, but from the presence of the one who loves us and is with us through it all. Even in the middle of difficulty, His smile whispers, I am with you. You are not forgotten. You are never alone. And this presence is not just a passive one, it's active and powerful. God's smile gives us strength to carry on. It reminds us that we are not called to navigate life's challenges alone, but that God's presence in our lives equips us to face anything with His peace and guidance. His smile fills us with courage, allowing us to step into the unknown with confidence. When we know that God is smiling over us, we can take on the world with a renewed sense of purpose because we are not fighting our battles alone. Moreover, the smile of God gives us perspective. It helps us to see that even in the toughest of times, there is a larger picture unfolding, one that is filled with His grace and goodness. Sometimes it's hard to understand the struggles we face or the reasons behind our pain. But when we trust in God's presence and His smile, we begin to see that everything has a purpose in His divine plan. His smile is a reminder that He is in control, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. It's a reminder that He is working all things together for good, even when we can't yet see the end result. When we experience the smile of God, we begin to shift our focus from the challenges to the beauty of His presence. We are reminded that the greatest treasure in life is not the absence of difficulty, but the presence of God in the midst of it. His smile is a symbol of His deep love for us, a love that sees past our flaws and imperfections and delights in who we are. It's a love that walks with us through every season of life, guiding us, comforting us, and lifting us up when we fall. God's smile in our lives is a constant invitation to trust in His presence. It's an invitation to rest in the knowledge that we are never alone, that no matter what we face, He is with us, walking beside us, and smiling down on us with love. In His presence we find peace. In His presence we find strength. In His presence we find everything we need to move forward in faith. His smile is a reminder that no matter what life brings, we are always held in His loving embrace. The smile of God is a powerful reminder of His grace, and understanding this grace is key to experiencing the full depth of His love for us. Grace is the unmerited favor of God, His kindness and love given to us freely, not because we deserve it, but because it is who He is. The smile of God reflects this grace in the most profound way. It's not contingent on our actions, our perfection, or our ability to follow every rule to the letter. His smile, just like His grace, is a gift, something we receive, not something we earn. Grace is often misunderstood in today's world. We live in a society where people are often judged based on their actions, where performance and results are what determine value. We are constantly told that we must work harder, be better, achieve more in order to earn love, respect, or approval. But God's grace turns that idea on its head. He doesn't require us to be perfect, to do everything right, or to constantly prove our worth. His smile is a reflection of this grace, a love that is freely given regardless of our mistakes, shortcomings, or failures. His approval doesn't depend on our actions. It's simply given because He loves us for who we are. This is not to say that God is indifferent to our actions. In fact, the more we understand His grace, the more we are motivated to live in a way that reflects His love. But God's grace is not transactional. We don't have to earn His smile or His love through good behavior or by meeting some standard of perfection. God's smile is always there, ready to embrace us, even when we fall short. His grace covers us in our brokenness, lifts us when we stumble, and reassures us that we are loved beyond measure. It is through His grace that we are able to grow, to change, and to become the people He created us to be. His smile is not a sign of His approval of our flaws, but a reminder that He sees the potential in us, that He knows what we are capable of becoming. Even when we fail, His grace is there, extending a hand to lift us up and remind us that we are not defined by our mistakes, but by His love for us. His smile says, you are still worthy, you are still loved, you are still my beloved child, no matter what. When we truly grasp the concept of grace, it changes the way we see ourselves and the way we interact with the world around us. Grace allows us to forgive ourselves when we make mistakes. It frees us from the need to constantly prove our worth and instead invites us to rest in the love of God. When we understand that we don't have to strive for perfection, it gives us the freedom to embrace who we are, flaws and all. And as we experience that grace in our own lives, we are called to extend it to others. Just as God smiles upon us with grace, we are invited to share that same grace with the people around us, whether through kindness, understanding, or forgiveness. God's grace is not just a passive concept. It is active and powerful, shaping our lives and transforming us from the inside out. It empowers us to face challenges with confidence, to step forward in faith, knowing that we don't have to do it alone. When we live in the knowledge of God's grace, we are free from fear and anxiety because we know that we are loved beyond measure, that His smile is always there, guiding us and lifting us up. The smile of God is a constant reminder that no matter where we are in life, we are always covered by His grace. It's a smile that tells us, you are enough. You are worthy of love. You are deserving of my favor, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. And this truth is what gives us the strength to move forward, to face challenges with courage, and to embrace life with joy. We are not alone in our journey, and we are not bound by our failures. We are held in the arms of a loving Father whose grace will never fail and whose smile will always shine upon us. The smile of God has a profound ability to overcome fear and doubt in our lives. Fear and doubt are natural responses to the challenges we face in life. They often arise when we are confronted with the unknown, the uncertain, or the overwhelming. When things are not going as we expected, or when we feel ill-equipped to handle the circumstances before us, fear can take root. Doubt creeps in, questioning whether we are strong enough, capable enough, or deserving enough to move forward. In these moments, God's smile becomes a beacon of reassurance and peace. When we experience the smile of God, we are reminded that He is with us in every moment. His presence is a calming force that pushes away the fear and doubt that can cloud our minds and hearts. His smile isn't just a gentle expression, it's a powerful symbol of His unwavering love and support, telling us that no matter how big our fears may seem, He is bigger. It reminds us that He is in control, that He is guiding us through the storm, and that we are never truly alone. God's smile is a message of encouragement. It tells us that we do not have to face life's difficulties by ourselves. It speaks to us of His faithfulness, His promise to never leave us, and His commitment to see us through to the other side. When we recognize His smile in the midst of our trials, it helps to shift our focus. Rather than being consumed by fear or paralyzed by doubt, we begin to focus on the fact that God is with us, walking beside us every step of the way. His smile becomes a reminder that with Him, all things are possible. His presence gives us the courage to take the next step, to keep moving forward, even when the road ahead seems unclear. Doubt often tells us that we are not enough, that we don't have what it takes, that the obstacles we face are too great for us to overcome. Fear tells us that we're not capable, that the challenges are too overwhelming, that we should turn back or give up. But God's smile is the antidote to these lies. It reassures us that we are more than capable because He is with us. His smile is a reminder that our strength comes from Him, not from ourselves. When we face fear and doubt, we can rest in the knowledge that God's power is greater than anything we may face. His smile tells us that we are not relying on our own abilities, but on His strength, His wisdom, and His love. The smile of God also dispels the fear of failure. So often we are afraid of failing, whether it's in our careers, our relationships, or even our personal growth. The fear of failure can be paralyzing, keeping us stuck in a place of inaction or self-doubt. But when we recognize that God is smiling over us, we can release that fear. We know that failure does not define us and it does not determine our worth. God's smile reminds us that even in our mistakes, we are still loved, still worthy, and still His. His love is not contingent on our success or our achievements. In fact, it's often through our failures that we grow the most. And God's smile is there to encourage us, to help us get back up, and to keep moving forward. When we are overwhelmed with doubt, His smile tells us that we are enough. It tells us that His love is not based on our performance, and that we are worthy of His grace and His favor, even when we feel like we've fallen short. His smile assures us that we are capable, not because of who we are, but because of who He is. He has equipped us with everything we need to overcome the challenges in our lives. His smile is a reminder that He is walking with us through every challenge, giving us the strength, courage, and wisdom we need to succeed. In moments of fear and doubt, the smile of God invites us to step forward in faith, knowing that He is with us. It's an invitation to trust in His plan, even when we don't have all the answers. His smile helps us to remember that we are never alone and that He will provide for us, guide us, and carry us through. As we rest in His smile, we can let go of the fear and doubt that try to hold us back and instead move forward with confidence and hope. In the face of life's uncertainties, God's smile brings peace. It quiets our hearts, reminding us that we are held in His loving arms. His smile tells us that everything will be okay, that He is in control, and that He will lead us through. When we understand this, when we embrace the smile of God, fear and doubt lose their grip on us. We find peace, courage, and the strength to move forward, trusting that God is always with us, always smiling over us, and always guiding us toward the future He has prepared for us. The smile of God is a reflection of His deep delight in who we are. And understanding this truth can be incredibly freeing. So often in life, we get caught up in the idea that we must prove our worth or earn approval, especially from those around us. We feel as though we must constantly work harder, do more, and be better in order to receive love, acceptance, or recognition. This mindset can weigh us down and cause us to doubt our own value. However, the smile of God reminds us that we are already accepted, loved, and cherished, not because of what we do, but simply because we are His creation. When we realize that God's smile is a reflection of His pleasure in us, it changes the way we view ourselves. We no longer need to seek approval from external sources, nor do we need to prove our worth through achievements or accomplishments. The approval we truly seek is already given, freely and without conditions. God's smile tells us that we are enough, just as we are. We don't have to change to earn His love, and we don't have to strive endlessly for His approval. He smiles upon us because He sees our hearts, and He is pleased with who we are. This divine approval is not based on our performance. It is not contingent on how perfect we are or how well we follow the rules. It is a smile that transcends our flaws and imperfections. God's smile is not a reflection of our successes or failures, but rather an expression of His boundless love for us. He sees us as His children, and He delights in us simply because we exist. His love for us is not earned, it is freely given, and His smile is a reminder of that. When we embrace the truth that God delights in us, we are freed from the constant pressure to prove ourselves. We no longer need to measure our worth against the world's standards or the expectations of others. God's smile says, "You are loved, you are accepted, you are enough." This understanding allows us to step into our lives with a renewed sense of confidence, knowing that we do not have to constantly seek validation. We are already validated by the Creator of the universe. This divine delight in us is not just a passive approval, it is active and transformative. When we recognize that God is smiling upon us, we begin to experience a deep sense of peace and security. We don't need to strive for approval or work for love. We can simply rest in the knowledge that we are already loved, accepted, and approved by God. This realization allows us to live with more freedom, joy, and authenticity. We are no longer defined by the opinions of others or the pressure to perform. We are defined by God's love and the knowledge that He delights in us. Furthermore, understanding that God smiles upon us changes the way we see others. Just as God delights in us, He delights in all His creation. When we see people through God's eyes, we begin to see them as He sees them, worthy of love, deserving of kindness, and full of potential. We begin to extend the same grace and love to others that God extends to us. His smile becomes an invitation to love others as He loves us without conditions or expectations. Just as God's smile is not based on our performance, neither should our treatment of others be based on their performance or worthiness. Instead, we are called to love others with the same unconditional love that we have received from God. Living in the light of God's smile also helps us to grow and transform. It is not a smile that ignores our flaws or lets us remain where we are, but rather it is a smile that encourages us to become the best versions of ourselves. When we know that God delights in us, it inspires us to live out our fullest potential, not out of a need to prove something, but out of a desire to honor the love He has shown us. We begin to see ourselves as capable, loved, and worthy of growth. God's smile encourages us to rise to the challenges before us, knowing that we are not alone and that He is with us every step of the way. As we embrace the smile of God, we are reminded that we are not just loved for what we do, but for who we are. His smile is a reflection of His heart, and that heart delights in us. We are His children, and He is pleased with us. This truth allows us to walk through life with a sense of peace and confidence, knowing that we are not defined by our successes or failures, but by the unconditional love that God has for us. His smile is a reminder that we are always worthy of His love, no matter where we are or what we have done. It is a smile that tells us we are enough. We are loved, we are His, and that truth is more than enough to carry us through each day with confidence and joy. The smile of God is a profound symbol of His endless hope and the future He has designed for each of us. Life can often feel uncertain, filled with unexpected twists and turns that leave us questioning where we are headed. In those moments, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the unknown or by feelings of discouragement. But when we understand that God's smile is a reflection of the hope He has for us, it changes everything. His smile serves as a powerful reminder that no matter how dark the present may seem, He has a bright future planned for us. A future full of promise, purpose, and possibility. The smile of God is an expression of His trust in us. He smiles because He knows that we are capable of more than we often believe. He sees the potential within us, even when we can't see it ourselves. In moments of doubt, when we question our own ability to overcome obstacles or achieve our dreams, God's smile reassures us that He has already equipped us with everything we need to succeed. It's a smile that says, "You have what it takes. I am with you. I am leading you to something greater." God's smile reflects the hope He places within our hearts, a hope that is not just about wishful thinking, but about a deep, unwavering confidence in the goodness of His plan. Hope is not the absence of difficulty. It is the belief that, despite the challenges we may face, there is a purpose unfolding in our lives that is bigger than our current circumstances. God's smile is a reminder that His promises are true and that He is working all things together for our good. When we feel lost or uncertain, His smile offers us the hope that no matter what, we are headed towards something wonderful. This hope that God offers us is not based on our abilities or achievements. It is rooted in His love, His faithfulness, and His perfect plan. His smile tells us that He has a purpose for our lives, and that purpose is filled with hope. When we face setbacks, failures, or disappointments, God's smile reminds us that these are not the final chapters of our story. There is more ahead. There's a future filled with hope and possibility. And God is leading us toward it, one step at a time. When we allow ourselves to truly embrace the smile of God, we begin to see our lives through the lens of His hope. Rather than focusing on our limitations or the obstacles in front of us, we begin to focus on the promise that He is leading us towards something greater. His smile becomes a beacon of hope that lights our path, giving us the strength and courage to press forward even when the way seems unclear. With God's smile, we are reminded that no matter how difficult the present moment may be, the future holds something incredible. There is always hope in God's plans. This hope is also transformative. When we walk in the light of God's smile, we are empowered to dream big, to take risks, and to believe that our future can be better than our past. Hope fuels our actions. It propels us to move forward even when we feel uncertain or afraid. God's smile invites us to take steps of faith, to trust in His plan for our lives, and to believe that the best is yet to come. It frees us from the fear of failure and encourages us to embrace each day with optimism, knowing that God is at work in us, shaping us, and leading us to a future filled with His goodness. Moreover, the smile of God also offers hope to those around us. When we live with the assurance that God's smile is on us, we become a source of hope to others. Our lives reflect the hope we carry within us, and that hope can inspire and encourage those who may be struggling. As we embrace the future that God has prepared for us, we can help others to see that they too have a future filled with promise and possibility. We become agents of hope in a world that desperately needs it, pointing others to the truth that God has a plan for them too. Ultimately, the smile of God is a reminder that He has not forgotten us, that He has not left us to wander aimlessly. His smile tells us that He has a purpose for each of our lives, and that purpose is filled with hope, joy, and fulfillment. No matter where we are in our journey, we can take comfort in knowing that God is smiling over us, guiding us toward a future full of His goodness and grace. The future is bright, and His hope will lead us through every season of life, bringing us closer to the amazing plans He has for us. The smile of God is a reminder of His constant presence in our lives, offering us peace in times of uncertainty. It's a sign that we are never alone, and that no matter what we're facing, His love and grace are always with us. Even in our darkest moments, His smile reminds us that we are His, and He is walking with us every step of the way. God's smile is also a reflection of His endless grace and mercy. It's not about perfection, but about His unconditional love for us. We don't have to prove ourselves or strive endlessly to be worthy of His love. His smile is a sign of His acceptance and approval given freely to us as His beloved children. It reminds us that we are enough, just as we are, and we are always worthy of His love. In moments of doubt and fear, the smile of God becomes a beacon of hope and reassurance. It tells us that no matter how uncertain the road ahead may seem, God's plan for us is good, and He is in control. His smile gives us the strength to move forward, knowing that He has a purpose for our lives and that the future is filled with His promises. The smile of God is not just a passive expression, but an active force in our lives. It empowers us to live with courage, to pursue our dreams, and to face challenges with confidence. When we embrace the smile of God, we begin to see ourselves through His eyes, loved, capable, and full of potential. Finally, the smile of God is an invitation to spread His love and grace to others. Just as God smiles upon us, we are called to share that same love with the world around us. By living in His smile, we become a reflection of His light, shining hope, peace, and joy to those who need it most. The smile of God is a gift that we are meant to share, spreading His love wherever we go.